I just finished watching the struggle switch with Dr. Russ Harris, and my thought straight away was there's probably some people thinking as well, how do I actually turn off the struggle switch? So this video is hopefully a quick summary for people if you want to get started. Probably my first thoughts around this is that we struggle with emotions because it's what society teaches us to do. It teaches us that we shouldn't have these emotions and that they're somehow problematic. And one of the biggest things in ACT and in this model that Russ teaches is that it's not about the actual emotion, it's around the function. So is it functioning to help me? And that means that the first step in how to deal with and turn off the struggle switch is to ask the workability question. So it could look different in a lot of contexts. I often say, if I allow this emotion to consume me or to drive my behavior, is it going to give me the outcomes that I want? To name it, to tame it comes from Dan Siegel, and it often means that if you can just name what the emotion is, then you can look at it rather than be driven by it. So the quote here, I'm just going to read, if we can see it, we don't have to be it. So if we can see the emotion, then we can allow it and make space for it. So the difficult thing obviously is that the harder the emotion is, the more challenging it is to make space for that emotion. The big technique I like to use with people here is expansion. So expansion is a really useful tool for noticing emotion for what it is. So what I often get people to do, first step is notice where the emotion's sitting in the body. So it might be sitting in your neck, in your chest, in your belly. For me, when I get anxiety, it's around my throat. So I notice that it's sitting in my throat. Sorry for tapping the microphone. And then I'll give it a shape. So is it round? Is it square? What's the color of this emotion? Is it red? What does it look like? Is it a gas? Is it a solid? And once I've got it really clear around what the emotion looks like, then I'm breathing. So I'm breathing out of in the diaphragm, and I'm making space and I'm expanding around this emotion. And I'm not changing it. I'm not struggling. So as you can tell, turning off the struggle switch with it, allowing it to come and go on its own time. And so once this has happened, then I've made enough space for that emotion, then I get back in, I engage in what I want to be doing. And that's the real key. ACT is called ACT because it's about doing. So you need to do. You can't just allow emotions and sit back. It's not a passive process. You need to allow the emotion in service of higher values.